Good morning. It's Sunday morning. I'm going for a little walk in the morning. I've got church with my son and grandma in a little bit, so that's exciting. One of the new things I've done, I've been doing my YouTube channel for a minute, and I thought, what can I really do to talk about something significant? And as I go through YouTube, I'm currently going through a separation from my wife. I'm sure we'll be divorced soon. And just some of the challenges that it entails as a man, and, forgiveness of yourself. I know my wife and I, when we broke up, it was sudden. We were arguing a lot. It kind of spiraled. And we're both great people. She's a wonderful person. I love and adore my wife. But, she's gone. And all she wanted to do is be happy. Same with me. But, I wanted to say as a man, look how pretty that is. I wanted to say as a man, when you have a failed marriage, that's a heavy weight to carry. And I'm carrying that a lot. But I also know in my particular situation, I made a lot of mistakes. I became a little negative. That's not normally how I am. With a lot of the stress with the bills and whatnot, really added up. And me and my wife had transportation issues to and from work. So that started some things. It's just one of those things where I think when you're going through a separation from your wife and then divorce, I think it's important to self-reflect. Do a lot of things that make you happy, but also self-reflect. What did you do to cause the marriage to fail? And then I've identified things where I became negative, and therapy. I think therapy is important. If you're going through a divorce, go to therapy. Someone to talk to is really going to help you out a lot. It's good coffee. It's a good fall day here in Michigan. Sunday morning. Had a good weekend with my son and friends. And, it's just important just to know that things will get better, Hopefully you and your wife that are divorcing are on good terms in some way and can agree and it doesn't get messy. I know my wife and I haven't spoken since the day that I left the home. We were about to go to bed. It was like 7:30. You're about to go to bed. And we ended up not going, and the kids got in a big fight. And then, she took her rings off and said she was done. And I can't really blame her because, I wasn't leading. I wasn't being a strong man. I wasn't cleaning up around the house. Like I said I would. I was doing a lot of things. Now that you're out of the situation, you reflect. You can see some of the things you've done. And you're like, man, okay. I can see why she is upset. Okay, I see why she felt unloved. And you start adding these things up, and you're like, in your mind, you didn't even know you were doing these things. And then you're separated from the situation, and you can think more clearly. And you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. And, it's one of those things where, I don't know about any of you guys, the stress of bills and just the stress of life got to me. And I started taking out on my wife. Like I said, I still call her my wife because we're not divorced yet. I love and adore my wife, and I haven't spoken to her in over a month or seen her. And, I pray for her every day to be happy. And she will be, she's an awesome woman. She'll find someone really good if she wants to. But I think as far as a man goes, accountability in your situation is key, I think. Whether you want to stay single for the rest of your life or meet other women, And I think it's important, too, not to go sleep with other women immediately. I just think that That's pretty. Boy, it's a beautiful morning. I just think that if you do go sleep with other women right away, how I personally feel is you're devaluing the relationship and how much you love that person. I know when I went through a breakup with my son's mom, we were never married, you know, first thing I did was find other women to sleep with. And it showed that the love was never really there, you know. And my wife was actually, she'd been there by my side for a long time. And she helped me out a lot through that breakup before we actually dated or anything. And, you know, it's weird because normally, I'm not a bad-looking guy. I ain't no supermodel, but I ain't a bad-looking guy. But normally, you know, I become single like this, and I just get on the horse and try to find women. And I'm not doing that this time. You know, I'm just living my life. I'm hitting the gym. I'm going back to Europe in December. That'll be fun. But yeah, you know, I just thought I'd make this video because for hope for people that are going through divorce. It's just one of those things where you need to identify the things you did wrong. And in some cases, you didn't. You know, in my case, I made a lot of mistakes. And I can see the mistakes that I made. And I actually wrote them down. And I was like, wow, you know, that was a lot of mistakes. And now it takes two to tango. But, you know, it doesn't matter if you're upset over the bills and, oh, you know, work's not going well. You cannot take it out on your spouse. And that's what I was doing. And it ended up costing me my marriage, you know. And a best friend, too. But, you know, the pain and the grief I feel is almost a good thing. Because, just thinking about it, you realize how much you actually loved that person. And how much you actually care about that person. Even though they're no longer in your life, you know, how much you still care for them and you want them to succeed. You know, I'm always just over here walking on my land. I got 3 acres of land. My dad owns like 18 or 20. I'm connected to it. Right there, it's a willow tree. I actually don't know if you can see it or not. Oh yeah, you can see it. I actually asked my wife to marry me right there. And she said yes. And it was one of the best moments of my life. And, you know, we got married down in Silver Springs, Florida. Beautiful wedding. Beautiful wedding. And even though we're not together, and I don't know if we'll ever even speak again, but it's just you know, it's a memory you'll always have. And I think that's something too, when you're going through divorce, when you've made these good memories with somebody, even if things turn sour at the end, cherish what it was when it was good. Because that's one thing I never did. When me and my wife were solid, I was like, man, I love this. But I was like, I know how quickly things can turn. And they did with me. They did pretty quickly with our situation. Like I said, mostly me. I became jealous. And I used to not be jealous. I became jealous. You know, my wife, a very attractive woman. And she got a job where she was around men who were more attractive, not more attractive than me, I wouldn't say, but made a lot more money than me. So I felt, I felt threatened because I was having some money issues. When me and my wife got together, I was flying high. I had a good job, and I had a decent amount of cash. And now, fast forward, I spent well over $10,000 on our wedding. A place I worked for didn't pay my taxes like they're supposed to, so that really affected me. But, you know, it's just one of those things where you just got to rise above it. And, boy, that's some good morning coffee right here. It's going to be a good day, though. Today's the first day of fall. Hear the chickens. And my wife got those chickens. I got constant reminders of my wife everywhere, even though I don't live in the family home anymore. And I think that was a hard thing, too, leaving the family home, you know. And I still got some things there, like my grill, my whiskey shot glasses, things that, she got me. And, but, I'm looking forward to everything. And I think that's something big when you're going through divorce, for any guy going through divorce, or even women, but this is mostly for the men. Have something to look forward to. I'm going back to Europe with my brother in November, and then we're taking the Eurostar to Paris. Me and my wife were supposed to go to Paris together for our honeymoon, but we ended up not being able to because the place I didn't go to, or the place I worked at, didn't pay my taxes. I was devastated on that, and that really bothered me. And I know it bothered my wife too, because she was pretty excited about that. I only made this YouTube channel as something to get me off of Facebook and Instagram. And I think that's important too, when you're trying to get over your wife or girlfriend. Don't stalk their social media. Don't do it. You're only going to find stuff that that's not going to help you, and don't ask about their past. It's not going to help you. I blocked my wife on Facebook and Instagram, not because I hate her, just because, I don't want to know who she's with, what she's doing, because it's not with me. And even though I wish her I love and adore her, I always will, I'll always care about her, and I think the longer you go without seeing them, you get more mental clarity. Like, okay, I love this person, but I did this. But they also did this. But I know with me, therapy has been amazing. Like I said, any man going through divorce or breakup, go to therapy and talk to your therapist. They'll say, well, what made you do this, Why did you get so angry on this, Because you can't take it back. Yeah, my breakup with my wife kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen The Notebook, where they get in that big fight and they don't get it physical or nothing, but it just kind of just spirals out of control and they break up, and like I said, anybody going through divorce, it will get better. I would write down things you have to work on. That's what I've done. I've got a list of things I have to work on for myself before I even think about being with another woman. I'm going to be single for a while, though. And call me old-fashioned, but I took marital vows to my wife, and even though she's gone, I'm going to respect those vows until we're divorced officially. And, I'll meet a lady. It's weird because every time I was at the store and I could tell a woman was looking at me before, and I would always pull, kind of have my ring. I had my wedding ring on, so I could always kind of just put my wedding ring up to my face and brush my beard or something. They could see, oh, he's got a ring on. He's off limits. I can't do that now. So it's odd, when you see women smile at you and, you can smile back if you want to. I'm very polite to women who talk to me out in public. I don't have any interest in dating them at all or anything at this point, or sleeping with them because I'm married. And some people, you're married and divorced apart. The marital vows don't mean much to you. It's okay. I'm not here to judge. Just for me personally, I know that's what I feel. I won't sleep with another woman until my divorce is final. And at this point, I really don't even want sex. I loved it with my wife. I couldn't get enough of it. I always like, come on, But that's one of the things, I think when you truly fall in love with somebody, you don't want to just sleep with other women, especially when it's over. And even if they've moved on, And my wife, even if she's moved on, I wish her the best. I know it was a very, very difficult decision for her to end our marriage, but I changed. She changed a little too, but not like I did. I really changed who I was. And, but I'm looking forward to the future. And that's what you should do too. Look forward to the future. You know, have an idea. What do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? You know, I'm studying to get my CDL. Yeah, drive the big semis. It'd be fun to make a good wage. I want to travel more. I'm going to buy a nicer RV so I can travel more too. And right here, I don't know how well you can see it. These are old tractors. You know, me and my wife are going to have B&B Family Farm and Homes here. My wife's name is Brittany. Ben and Brittany, or Brittany and Ben's Family Farm and Home. And I'm still going to do that. It's just going to say Ben's Family Farm and Home. But I'm still going to build a house here. And it's going to be wonderful. And you know what? I know through God and therapy and working on myself, things will get better. And they will for you too, if you take the steps to get better. You know, and my wife, I wish her nothing but the best. I pray for her every day. I pray for the kids. That's one thing too. If she had kids that weren't yours and you broke up, that can be difficult. I have a son and she had 3 kids. I wasn't super close with the older 2, even though I tried to be present for them. But her toddler, who was almost 3, I loved. He was so funny, you know. I actually saw him more than my son. And he actually reminded me of when I was younger and I had my son. So it was the best of both worlds because he was a cool dude. He always made me laugh. I got under my skin sometimes, you know. But thank you for the funny things. But, you know, that's what I take from my divorce and, you know, my relationship, all the positive. You know, I know there is negative at the end, but mostly because of me. And I have to own that, and I'm owning it through therapy and God. One thing, though, I'll say is that, oh, wow, look at that tree. These are going to be nice and big. And I was thinking about making my road right here. Putting the house right over there by where that tractor is. No, accountability is huge, you know. And if you take accountability, people notice. You know, my son's mom, we were together for 6 years and we broke up. It was a nasty breakup, too. You know, she was sending me Bible verses the other day about, you know, because me and my wife broke up and she knows I'm having a hard time. You know, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me and offer me encouragement and say stick in there. And that's weird too, you know. I normally don't go public with a lot of things, but I did it on Facebook because I had a lot of people telling me congratulations because we literally just got married. And it was hurting. It was hurting for people to tell me that. So I went public and told people that we were no longer together. But I think healing is a big thing, you know. And hit the gym. You got to hit the gym. Now, what unfortunate for me is I try not to go back to where my family home was. And the gym I go to is like right down the road. So I actually joined a different gym for now. And I'll go back to my regular gym when I feel better. But, you know, I think too, when you love someone and care for them and they don't want to be around you anymore, that's like one of the last things you can do for them, is give them the space they want. It's a respect. It's respect and love. Because you're letting them know, hey, you know, even though I love you and adore you, you don't want to be in my life anymore. And, you know, I respect that. And I'll always respect and love my wife and adore her. And I'll tell you what, I took a lot of videos, a lot of pictures of us together. I'm slowly going to start saving those and putting them on a disc or something and put it away. But, you know, I think that's the thing. When you truly love someone and it ends, the grief you feel, I think that's when you know how much you love that person, the grief you had. And I've had a lot of grief. But, you know, I've done the things I need to do. And I'll admit, I begged a little. Not attractive, I know. But you know. It's one of those things where when, you know, your wife leaves you, you're like, man, you know. So, and some people, they didn't fuck up. The wife did. In my situation, though, my wife, she probably had about 10% of the blame for the divorce. I had about 90, and I own that. And I think that's important, is owning what you've done. And, you know, it's just one of those things where you have to own it, and I own it. And, you know, life's going to get better. You know, I've got my health. I love my son. We've been getting out doing stuff, playing games together. My friends have been so amazing and everything. You know, offering words of encouragement. That's one thing I love about my friends, too, is they don't sugarcoat things or blow smoke up my ass. When I tell them the things that I did that made my wife leave me, they're like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. That was fucked up. You know, and I never hit my wife. Never would have. But I got angry at times, you know, and I lost who I was. And I think that happens easily in a marriage if you're not seeing the person a lot because you both work, and then the kids, and then money issues. Money issues is huge in divorce. I've seen so many of my friends get divorced or break up over money issues, you know. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. Don't mind me with the camera. I guess I'm a little more professional, but look at that. Absolutely beautiful. It's paradise. You know, I haven't gotten my divorce papers yet. And I know I will in time. I really didn't want to file for divorce because before we got married, also I paid over $10,000 to get married. Anyway, but before I filed for divorce, before we got married, I told my wife, I said, you know, this is it for me. I said, there's no divorce if we get married. She agreed. However, she agreed before I started changing. So I don't blame my wife for nothing. And, you know, I don't know what she's up to right now. Like I said, I got her blocked and everything, except for the phone. But she won't text me back. But, you know, all I can say is look up, look forward. But you have to also look back and fix the problems that you created, you know. And that's where therapy, like I said, therapy is huge. But you need a good therapist, though. Don't let them push drugs on you either. I tried that. I was so sick. Yeah, you know. And I don't know what state you live in. I live in Michigan, so we can legally smoke marijuana. And I do that. I had quit because I wanted to get a different job. And I still have to quit again to get my CDL. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, you know. Because I'm not a heavy drinker. And that's the thing, too. Don't get into vices like drinking a lot. That's what's scary for some men going through divorce. They get vices. They go drinking a lot. They sleep with random women. I think the worst thing you can do is start sleeping with random women or sleeping with ex-girlfriends. You know, if it's been a couple months and you feel okay, you know, go ahead. But I think that's the worst thing you can do, because I did that in the past, and you feel good in the moment, and then afterwards you feel even worse. You know, I like that the last person I've been with was my wife, and she'll be the last person I've been with for a little bit. You know, I want to wait till we get our divorce finalized, and I work on myself. And, you know, you work on yourself, you'll attract someone good. And that's what happened last time. My wife, I worked on myself and attracted somebody good. And, boy, she was rock solid. But I fell into old habits. And, you know, we're people, we do that sort of thing. And if we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. Like at work, you know, when someone says, you made a mistake, man, I'm like, well, if I was perfect, I wouldn't be here. You know, I'd be out in the Caribbean on a yacht, getting sunned, eating caviar. I wouldn't be here making you millions of dollars while you pay me pennies, you know. Well, I'm gonna keep going for my little walk. I gotta get ready for church with my grandma. But yeah, just anybody struggling with divorce, you can comment below if you need to talk. You know, I'm always available to talk. I mean, I'm busy all the time with the gym and work and friends and my son, but, you know, that's my last thing of advice. Focus on you. Have goals in place. Have things to look forward to. Oh, like Monday, I'm getting a massage. I'm excited. No, it's a legitimate massage. It's not legitimate. It's a legitimate massage. But, you know, I'm doing stuff for me, and it's good, you know. It's going to be okay. And that's the one thing with you, anybody going through divorce out there, it's going to be okay. You'll be okay. It's hard right now, I know, trust me. It's been a hard month. I haven't talked to my wife or spoken to her in a month. Oh, maybe a month and a week. I don't know. I've lost count. But, you know, that's my advice. Work on yourself. Do not social media stalk either. It's just going to hurt you. It's going to bring back bad memories. Like I said, I blocked my wife, and that was because I found myself constantly seeing our memories pop up. And I kept checking your profile, which is, you can't do that. You know, you can't, because you're going to see stuff you don't like eventually. Just work on you. And that's my best advice to anybody going through divorce. Wow, it's so beautiful here. Today's the first day of fall, too. Paradise. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you did, or leave a like. I just felt like taking a little walk this morning and making a nice video for people that might be struggling like me. You know, I've been struggling, but I've also made it a point to get out and do things, which is key. And you have to forgive yourself. And I'll forgive myself in time. Therapy and church has helped a lot, you know. If you're Christian, you know, and believe the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ is your Savior, you know, that's good. Amen, brother. If not, I don't judge, you know. But I hope everybody is doing good. I'm going to get ready and go to church. Have a good day with my son. I got invited to go watch the game at a buddy's house. And, you know, it's going to be a good day. All right. Peace out.